Hello, everyone. Before we get started today, I wanted to let you know, especially if you are one of my loyal listeners that is looking for a little bit more, I've created a paid subscription option for the podcast for 99 pence per month. On top of this being ad-free and just purely being the essence of the episodes, I will be doing bonus episodes, some personal update episodes, and we'll also include any information, invites into any virtual workshops or online things that I do in the future. So if you fancy it, check out the show notes below with the link and enjoy the show. Hello everyone, and welcome to today's episode of the Self-Improvement Project. I think I'm going to start the episode by not only asking how your self-improvement is going, but also just give a little update on mine as well, because I'm human, I'm normal, I'm on this journey as well, and it provides some nice insight as well for you, hopefully to maybe take some of the pressure off yourself. For instance, let's use the old cliche of New Year's resolutions, where we have these highly ambitious goals that we want to achieve and people we want to become every year, but we always come up short, or we burn out or run out of steam, essentially, when it comes to it. So I know I've done episodes on what are you proud of this year and what are you looking forward to being proud of in the future, but let's say between now and the start of the year, this is getting released in April, so that's about 4 months, 3 full months worth of self-development that you've done. What are you happy with? What do you feel like you've improved upon? What are you proud of? What have you managed to achieve thus far, and potentially what next level is it taking you on to with your current goal, I guess? For me, I had surgery at the end of 2021, and my number one goal was just to build up my health and basic fitness again. And I've been cycling most days. I go swimming once a week. I try and go for a run every now and then, but there's no agenda behind it. There's no technical fitness side of things that I focus on. I just focus on getting my heart rate up, pushing myself to feel alive, but maybe that's just the stage of life that I'm at. So what's yours? What have you been doing? Share with me, pop me an email. I love hearing from people about what they've been up to. Anyway, let's get on to today's episode, will we? And today's episode is titled Be the Uplifter. Is uplifter a word? I don't know. But being an uplifter is something that I'm going to describe for you today. It's based on a piece that I have written recently, and I want to share some more thoughts on with you. So let's set a bit of context here. Most of the online advice gurus that you will see pop up on your social media feeds, they tell you that you have to be the best that you can be. Now, I know that I've said that, and I know from my point of view what I mean from that, but that blanket statement alone, the way that it's delivered, what is surrounding that statement can have very different meanings overall. You need to be the person to know and the person to go to on whatever it is that you are good at, and you cannot stop, you cannot sleep, you cannot eat until you reach that. And the reason that I bring this up is that it's not really sat well with me for a while. The first reason for this not sitting well with me is from a values point of view. Success is subjective to many people. It can be unhealthy and uncontrollable, if not a bit manipulative, with the pressure to become some sort of version of success to others, that external view of success to the world that you live in. You must appear successful in order to be deemed successful. And the worrying thing from a values point of view is that this is given as the only option. There is no weakness. If there is any weakness, it is demonstrated as it was because you were working hard. That is why you have reached where you have. All those extreme lows. And don't get me wrong, they exist, but those extreme lows are... You must go through them to be a success. And going through those extreme lows means you will be successful. All of these things are, and again, maybe it's the way that it's put across, are not the true portrayal of success. Let's look at things like luck. Luck is something that plays a much bigger role in our life than we think. We have so much less control in our lives than we believe of all the things that can happen. And I guess what I'm trying to say, with the ultimate end goal being this shiny version of success, is that sometimes we are told to make ourselves miserable during this process. Related to that last sentence, a lot of you who are familiar with the podcast and have listened to it a lot know that I am all about that journey and appreciation of the ups and downs that exist in that journey, but nothing is about that end point. Everything is about from the moment you're aware of what you want to do, the ups and downs that come with it, and stopping and being present in those moments. I understand that you get joy out of pain. When you look back, simple example being exercise. But there is two types of suffering. There is good suffering and there is bad suffering. Bad suffering comes from doing things we don't choose nor want truly or properly. We're essentially brainwashed or marketed to, and then have to decide we suddenly, and maybe this isn't even a decision, but we suddenly want something that, if you look at your life beforehand, was actually fine without. But you are told, brainwashed to believe that you now need this in your life in order to be a success. Unfortunately, a lot of these things, when it comes to success, are related to money. These connotations that I describe are all examples of bad suffering. The classic cliche of seeing that miserable person who is extremely rich wishing they'd spent more time with their family. Which leads me on to the good suffering. Good suffering comes from knowing that you're heading in the right direction. You just need to understand that there is no option when it comes to doing the hard and the tough miles. There is no shortcut. And the beauty of this is that you know when you get any taste of success that it will be 100% pure. Every second of frustration, every moment of pain that the process has brought you, when you get that high, it makes it so much sweeter. This bad suffering comes from the marketing and sales ploy of shortcuts. Let's take a second to be honest with ourselves here. When at any point in your life did you take a shortcut and take any pure satisfaction out of it? Any true reward from a shortcut? Whether that's avoiding difficult things, cheating, potentially avoiding problems that if you were to do, you would become better for doing it. I actually believe this shortcut idea that exists within anything in life, but for the purpose of this episode for self-development, this is essentially where the concept of imposter syndrome should come from. But if you're listening to this, you'll probably suffer from it, even though that you're doing those hard miles. However, I do not want you to confuse shortcuts with the terms efficiency and effectiveness. Frustration with anything that we're wanting to get better at or we want sooner comes from looking back and thinking that and seeing that you could have been smarter with what you've done, not quicker. And does that not bring us around this whole point of suffering? Is the frustration of not being efficient or effective the good suffering? Let's avert back to the title of being an uplifter. Why am I talking about this stuff? How does it all relate? Now, if you are aiming to be this person that is in the spotlight that I talked about at the start, then how are you supposed to help anyone else? How are you supposed to lift other people up around you? By being successful, you are the main man, the main person, the one person that everyone looks towards. And the only way that you can help that person is tell them how you did it and sell them this deluded dream of, I did it this way, so it should work for you. But as I talked about before, with the circumstances, control, and luck, is it likely? No. And essentially, a lot of what I talk about with passions here is, imagine you got to that success point and it wasn't authentically and truly what you wanted. There's people in the world that are at that stage and they can't get out. Why don't we talk about you lifting others up with what you're good at in the world, what you're working towards in the world, whether that be a bit of fitness, a bit of a baseline, bit of health, some good habits with your meditation or mindfulness, or maybe just your diet being something that makes you feel good. What if your sole purpose of achieving these was just to lift others up around you? Not through a public manner, but almost the term I like to use is from the shadows, in the background. You're not doing this for attention. You're not doing this for status. You are doing this for your own peace of mind, your own inner peace, but the benefit of bringing others up. There's enough people in the world that are in the spotlight that actually end up making us feel inferior. There needs to be more people in the shadows lifting others up. None of this, if you're not in the spotlight and you're not successful, then you're a failure. How about you're in the shadows, you're working hard, you're developing a really good baseline for your life to be an amazing person, why don't we deem that, me living that type of lifestyle, a success and inspiring you to live the life that is successful to you? Giving others the belief that they need from an authentic, pure and genuine point of view. Nobody needs to reach 10k of anything. 10-kilometer run, 10,000 followers, £10,000. What people need is peace of mind and comfort with who they are. That is success. Celebrate them achieving mastery that no one else can do themselves. Congratulate them on finding someone or something to serve that they've been missing their whole and entire life up until now. Give them credit on doing the hard miles to find a purpose they believe in and continuing to develop for the rest of their life. Be the uplifter, not the showman. And that's us. So let's think today about some of the things that we're maybe drowning in a little bit from our content exposure. Think of some of the episodes you've maybe listened to this podcast before that make you feel uplifted. How can you use that to lift others up around you? That genuine support, that genuine, I'm not doing this to be the main person or to create some sort of false success that will make me seem like I have success. Supporting those people in your life that you can have that impact on to get them to live a better life, to get them to make better decisions about their lifestyle. And just focusing on those really genuine and authentic things, such as people living a great life through their careers and enjoying the meaning of their jobs, or helping them get to that fitness level that they've never had before but brings them so much joy. Let's look at these and lift everyone in our world up around us. I hope you enjoyed that today. If you've got any questions or you think there's anything else from this episode that would help, please let me know. Just reach out on the emails. I'd love to hear from you. Okay, cheers. Bye. Hey guys, me again. I hope you enjoyed that episode. And if you're not ready for the Becoming Unstuck in 30 Days self-led course quite yet, why don't you try my free ebook I created? 5 simple steps to improve yourself and your life. I made this during the very first lockdown of the pandemic in the early days of the self-improvement project. It's a quick go-to when you're feeling unsure what to work on when improving yourself or your lifestyle. And the great starting point if you're trying to figure out how to live a more fulfilling and simple life. The link for this will be in the show notes for you. Have a good one.